Hello everyone, Sam here, the queen of rock and roll dogs and the host of Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We are a rock and roll show all about pets, people and pop. This week in Vegas is the craziest pet expo you could ever imagine, called Super Zoo. But that also means amazing brands come into town and amazing people. So I have just dragged Joni in from Mandalay Bay to come down here, interview with us, to talk about her company, Treatables. Now, I met you last year.
Yes.
I met you last year. Let me tell you what she did for me yesterday. It was really nice. She gave me some CBD oil yesterday to take the edge off going around the expo. It's very overwhelming. And this is her arena. This is what you do for a living. Were you the original company to come out with CBD treats and oils and stuff? I mean, it was a year ago. It was piquing people's interests.
We've been around for 6 years with Treatables. Our parent company started 10 years ago, Auntie Dolores, and we're all part of the same family. So we've been working with phytocannabinoids and infusing products with phytocannabinoids for 10 years.
So 10 years starting with humans, and then you came into the pet space.
Right, what happened was our CEO was starting to hear from some of our patients, because at that time they were patients, all medical marijuana, saying they wanted to give their edibles to their pets. And she knew that THC could cause a lot of problems, especially if not working with a vet and not knowing the amount to give. All of our products now have no THC. We are hemp derived. So she started that 6 years ago, and it was a big deal, because when people give edibles, it's not just the amount of THC that's a problem. They're giving chocolate.
Yes, I know. You see, what the problem we had in Vegas is we became legal for cannabis almost a year ago. At the same time that this interest in CBD oil and treats for pets, and people thought it was the same thing.
Right.
Then they were giving their cannabis to their pets, and of course ending up in emergency situations. I got a text 2 days ago, oh my gosh, my cat got into my weed. And I said, you're a horrible, irresponsible person. He's a friend of mine. Of course you can talk to them like that. Get straight to the vet, the emergency vet, straight away. And so it was funny timing. Not the best timing. We've tried to get this message out as much as we can. You do not give your cannabis to your pets.
But one thing to know, if they do overdose on the THC, CBD naturally brings things back to balance. So right away, give some CBD oil, and that will start the process even before you get to the vet. That's
really good to know. Now, explain the difference. What is THC? What is hemp? What is this? This is where I think any product in the pet world, there's a lot of education behind a lot of products, but who wants to read all of that? How do we wade through that, and what is the difference? And I think that's what people need to understand. There seems to be a confusion of what's hemp, what's CBD oil, what's a treat, what is THC, what's the dosage? Oh, it's half a dropper. No, no, it's not half a dropper, because that one is a bigger, higher potency. So, and I think that's what's very confusing for a lot of the pet parents. So we're going to clear it up for everybody.
We can do our best. It's true. There's a lot of education that goes into this, just like anything that's new. I mean, if you think about the raw pet food big climb in the last few years, at first people were very confused by that.
They were.
People really, they've asked questions, and the industry itself has done a really great job of explaining. So that's our job too, and we thrive on education, because the more we educate our customers, the better it is for them, and it's obviously going to be better for us too.
Now, do you have an educational Wednesday that you do?
Tuesdays. For our wholesale clients. They can come in, so the stores and the people that work for them, and our CEO, Juliana Carella, it's about an hour long. It's a webinar, and you can ask questions. You learn about the science. She goes through all these things, gives you a lot of background and the common questions that people are going to get. We also do this for veterinarians. We do this,
great.
So whoever really needs that extra bit of education.
And that's on Tuesdays. Where do you do that? Do you do it online?
It's online.
It's online.
It's by invite only. I mean, you can send us an inquiry, and if you're a retailer carrying our products, we'll do that, and then we'll give you the presentation at the end.
I think that's really important, because of course it's a hot product, and everybody's buying it for those stores, but not everybody knows exactly what it is that they're actually selling, and I think
how to position it properly so people are getting the benefit.
So what is the difference between someone's cannabis and, say, a treatable, the product from you? Well, what is the difference?
Okay, well, start with what a cannabinoid is.
Yes.
Okay. There are various forms of cannabinoids. In our bodies, we make cannabinoids in our endocannabinoid system. That's inside our bodies. A phytocannabinoid means plant-based.
Right.
So the plant that is most well known for
Yeah.
the cannabis genus includes cannabis and hemp. The difference between the two is hemp has less than 0.3% THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient.
Right.
There are many cannabinoids. There are 180, or maybe my number's off. It's about 180. So there are certain ones that do certain things. CBD, which is cannabidiol, is actually one that has a lot of benefits. So that's the one that's medically beneficial to most people and to animals. So there are different ways to source this, and it is from cannabis or from hemp. Our products are all from hemp. There are no psychoactive ingredients.
Right.
We do a full plant extract, which means we're getting more than just that one cannabinoid. We're getting several.
Okay, right. That makes sense to me now. Yeah.
And they support each other. It's called the entourage effect. So that's why our product we call phytocannabinoid rich oil, because there's more than one. It's rich in these phytocannabinoids.
That's a good word to look for.
Yes, phytocannabinoid.
And that your pets are not going to get high.
Right, they're
and
not
this,
going to get
and
high.
then I've seen that too. You know, I've had a friend of mine who she wants to use it for her rescue dogs leading up to July the 4th and during July the 4th. And someone said, "Oh my God, you're such a horrible person. You're going to give weed and the dog's going to be high." And I think that's another one of those confusing factors. No, they're not. The THC is not in there.
No, so what happens is every animal has an endocannabinoid system except for insects, and because they don't have a skeletal system. And that's the
Right.
reason
Okay.
why.
Oh, I'm learning so much today. This is so good.
But the endocannabinoid system actually works with our neurological, physiological, and immunological systems, us, all animals. So when there's a deficiency in our body, we need another source. So phytocannabinoids, if you have the phytocannabinoids, it kind of fills in the spaces, because a lot of the questions we get are, well, how can it do so much for so many different conditions?
It does a lot.
And it does a lot.
Yes.
And we'll go through that too. But the reason is because the body knows what it's deficient in, and it will direct this where it needs to go. And that's why there's so many applications and why it's so beneficial.
It's incredible.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Let's talk about the benefits.
There are so many benefits. We hear a lot from our customers, especially about anxiety.
Yes.
And you were talking about 4th of July. That's a huge thing for pets. There's so much that goes on around the fireworks, because not only is it that, there's also parties happening, and there's a lot happening in your neighborhood. So we absolutely encourage people to never bring their pets to the town's firework display. It's really terrifying for them. They have very sensitive ears.
You're going to frighten pet, then don't take.
Don't do it.
They're not enjoying it.
They're
you
not.
can't force them to enjoy it, you know. And unless you've got a
Exactly.
dog that is trained to not respond or has been desensitized, which is actually going to be one of my guests later on today, amazing dog trainer Laura Nativo. Know that your pet is terrified, you don't actually purposely take it to the fireworks display, and you see it.
Yeah, and even at home, it's a good idea to have a room set aside where your pet can go in there, whether cat, dog, gerbil, whatever you have, but with their things around them, with a TV on, so it's kind of drowning out some of the noise and equaling it out, or a radio, something, some kind of music, with their favorite bed, their favorite toy, just so that they're in a confined area. We find that shelters, their busiest day is July 5th, because so many dogs run away during July 4th fireworks.
So many. It's insane. Not last year, the year before, I shared 200 lost dogs the very next day.
That's really sad.
That's all I did all day. It was ridiculous.
It's really sad.
But yeah, so the anxiety is a big thing.
Deal. That's a big deal. For motion sickness, so in the car,
that's
traveling
great
for the
for
summer,
travel.
absolutely great
That's
for travel.
Really, or going to the vet. Oh my goodness.
And that's a big deal. So 20 minutes to 30 minutes before you're going to go somewhere, that's the best time to give. You might want to try it with your dog maybe a week before and see how long it takes, because some dogs, it affects them in 10 minutes, some it might take an hour.
Right.
Every dog's a unique individual with individual needs, and you know your pet better than anybody. You will know
do.
when it's work.
You honestly do. You know when something isn't off. You go, oh, that's not how my dog normally acts, or something.
Exactly.
So you're going to have to observe, do it early. 4th, I mean, we need to start before July the 4th, because you want to be able for it to work on July the 4th.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I mean, I don't particularly like the fireworks. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to hear that. It's too much. It goes on for hours in Vegas till 2, 3 in the morning. It's crazy. But I know it's a big concern right now. Are you finding that shelters, or any shelters, actual shelters, are using it with shelter animals?
Yes, there are several rescues that we work with and shelters that we work with that we provide a lot of this. There are some that won't, because the veterinarians on staff just aren't really well versed yet and kind of afraid. That's changing rapidly.
Good.
But we're really happy to work with
because
different
it
shelters.
is a stressful environment. We know that.
It is.
And it's a strange environment for these dogs, and they're with strange dogs and strange people, and it's not fun, and it's incredibly loud.
Well, one of our products is tater sweet potato tots.
I can't say that 10 times fast.
The tater tot is from a show which we can't mention by name. We're not allowed to, but it's a show that kind of helps parolees and dogs acclimate better.
Dog lovers, you all know what we're talking about here.
But the rescue is Villalobos Rescue Center. They're in New Orleans. Aren't they amazing?
They're fantastic.
Well, Tater Tot is Mariah Harmony's dog, and so he's kind of an ambassador for us. We co-branded a product with them, basically.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. And $1 from every bag sold goes back to them. They have $500,000 in vet bills every year.
Oh,
there's a lot of heartworm with the animals that they find, and that's really expensive.
Terrible to get rid of.
Right. So that is our thing. That's our sweet potato tots. So
now, do you partner with any other rescues, or do you
not
select your
like
one and?
Yeah, we when we hear from rescues, we actually help, or we work out a system with them. Something if they're selling the products, or if we're donating. There's many different things. After disasters, obviously, we donate as often as we can.
Oh, that's just brilliant. I love you even more, Jodi. Will you be my sister?
I totally would be. Oh my God. No, but there's other benefits too, though. What's wonderful is it depends again on what's going on in the body, but it helps to help the digestive tract and joints, and it helps the natural inflammatory response work in the body. It's great for things like seizures. We see, and there's a lot of research right now going on about that.
And we're seeing a lot of that for people too.
Exactly.
Aren't we? And you know, I know people who have come in and got the CBD for their dogs with seizures because they haven't had any in 3 weeks, and it gets longer and longer, and it's been incredible. And people do say, how on earth can this one thing do so many amazing things? But now you've explained how that works. And who's got cerebral palsy, and I never thought about this, but his arm is severely affected, but I never thought he was in pain. But he's just constantly in pain. Well, he started doing CBD, it's almost gone. Isn't that amazing? After all these years, finally he's got some relief from that.
That's wonderful.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And they think about our pets with their discomfort, and they can't always let us know what, especially cats. Cats by nature do not show weakness, so it takes a long time
to actually spot something that's not right.
They're masters at hiding that. That's life or death. They're either predators or prey out in the wild. Like be up.
Oh, I never thought about that.
So it takes a long time.
Now, we hear that cats are sensitive to certain things, overly sensitive. Is it the same with CBD? Do they respond better to it, or what dosage? I guess is the big thing. Is it different for cats to dogs?
It is. It kind of is. With dogs, we listen to our customers, which is how we kind of came up with the right number that seems to be working. It's 1 milligram of PCR, which is phytocannabinoid-rich oil, for every 10 pounds of body weight. Dogs have a more sensitive receptor system, so a little bit less works for them. Cats, sometimes it is 1 milligram for every 10 pounds. Sometimes it's 2. Right. I have a cat that takes 3.
Whoa. So
his own issues, but it's working really well for him. He's got anxiety. So it works for him. Again, every pet's going to be different.
Yeah.
But the good news is you can't really overdose on this.
And I think that's important for people to know.
It's non-toxic.
Because everybody's scared.
Yeah, of course
they message me all the time, and I said, well, you've also got to look at the brand and the potency. Yes. So let's talk about that, because you see 200 milligrams, you see 1,000 milligrams, and everybody's confused. It's half a dropper, and nobody knows what they're doing.
It's hard, and we have different products too. We have dropper bottle oils in 3 different dosage sizes. We have a 90 milligram, a 250, and a 750. So a 90 milligram, 1 full dropper is 3 milligrams. So that'll give that a 30-pound dog, 1 dropper full.
Right.
Think about that. The 250 milligram has 8.5 milligrams per dropper full. So an 85-pound dog.
Yes.
The 750 has 25 milligrams.
Oh, wow.
That's a horse.
Oh, okay.
Or a 250-pound human.
So this is not exclusive for cats and dogs. I mean,
all animals
can benefit from this.
Yeah, we say from hamsters to horses.
Oh, I like that. It's easy to remember.
It is, right?
It's so easy to remember, because I do think the dosage has been a very confusing.
It is confusing. And also knowing your product, one thing that we really pride ourselves on is transparency. We test from the raw materials through the final product. every step of the way, and we do post the findings on our website, so everybody has access to it.
I think transparency is a big word that I've heard this whole time during Super Zoo.
It's
People
huge.
want transparency. They want to read a label, understand a label, where's the sourcing, and like you say, yours goes literally from the beginning to the end.
Well, and also consistency matters. You want to know that every time you offer one of our chews or our oils, that it's going to be the same amount of PCR. And that's not always true in every company. And so what happens is people get discouraged, like, oh, this isn't working for my dog. And maybe the first time it was 3 milligrams and this time was 1.5, but you don't know that.
You don't know that. And that's what I definitely think has been a big, big issue. Let's talk about extraction. Because if people don't even know about extraction, so how is it extracted and what method of extraction should we be looking for? Because it usually states on the bottle.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There are many ways that actually are beneficial and work really well. CO2 extraction is pretty much the industry standard.
So that's the one you want to look for.
And that's what we're always looking for too with our suppliers.
Because there are other methods. There's butane, correct?
I believe so.
Olive oil. And
it depends on the size of the people growing. So
it comes in, budget comes into it. Some people may opt for a really cheap version of extraction, but may not be the best quality.
It's also where you're sourcing. A lot of times, even if you see it says European sourced, that still can often be Chinese hemp, and it's just that it's processed in Europe, and you got to think about what's in the ground, all these like biocontaminants.
Yes. It can be tricky because sometimes you might buy a product that say it's made in America. It was actually assembled in America,
right? But where's it sourced?
Yeah,
and that's
always a worry. And I think we've all, with pet food recalls and chew recalls, I mean those kind of things, people become very, very aware of those kind of things. But I think CBD oil came in so fast. It was just so fast that it got flooded, and people are not sure what they're buying. They're just buying stuff willy-nilly. And I think to dispel some of the myths around it, or the falsehoods and that people are saying. I mean, people don't know the difference between a milliliter and a milligram and a dropper.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy, at the beginning, but once you master it, you master it. And people tell each other, and we're getting great questions every year that we do these trade shows. We're getting better and better questions because people are more informed.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. And media has done a wonderful job of relaying the information. And I don't know what we do without our bloggers and without our media, trade,
oh my gosh.
and
and everybody's having such great experiences themselves where they can say, I've seen my pet relax now when we travel by the car. We don't have to worry so much, or we can get to the vet easier now, or the arthritis, my dog's not limping anymore, they can actually get up out of their bed with some kind of ease, or like my friend with cerebral palsy. I mean, that's phenomenal. So what, in your mind, you do a range of products, which is would you say the most effective method of administering that to your pet?
It really depends on your pet. Again, it's really individual. Our pet chews are great because they feel like they're getting a treat. And it takes a little longer to digest, but that's okay. But everything lasts in the body 4 to 8 hours for most animals. Some pets only need this once a day, sometimes twice a day, chew, and how they metabolize and all. With larger dogs, a 10 might be the best way. It digests more in the intestines and it gets absorbed a little bit quicker that way.
Right.
So that might be best for them. And the dropper bottle oils, we actually use MCT coconut oil as the carrier oil.
Which is tasty.
It's tasty.
I know.
But also it's great externally. So if there's a boo-boo, there's a scratch, there's a bite, it actually works externally as well. So using internally and externally at the same time really helps.
Fantastic.
And for cats, the drops are usually pretty good. You can put it on your finger and just put it onto their gums, or put it in their food, mix it with a little yogurt, something that they like, tuna juice, something
that's palatable.
And you can't say enough about palatability. If they're enjoying it, they're going to want it the next time.
My little Jack Russell, she lifts her lip up like Elvis. We're going to put it in. She's like this. It's really funny. My friend who has a rescue group, she said, no one will take it by the drop. I said, have you thought of just dropping it on a plate? Let them lick it off the plate. She went, I never thought about that. So you can get it in them.
Taste of coconut generally.
Yes, they do.
Cats maybe, some don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my own cats. One I could put right in his mouth. The other one I mix with a little bit of yogurt. So everybody has taking it.
But as long as they can get it in them.
Exactly. In our chews, we have 4 flavors. So if you know what your dog likes more, we have blueberry, pumpkin, turkey, and the sweet potato.
How many products do you have in the line now?
That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 right now, and we're always looking to reintroduce or introduce things. So,
do you have anything exciting you can tell us about, or can't you tell us
Well,
about them? But are they coming down
wink,
the pipeline?
wink, we're working on something for kitties, exclusively for kitties, and we're hoping, our plan is hopefully by the end of the year.
I always
So
feel like cats never get enough
they're always
airtime.
second class. They're second class citizens
It's
in the
not
pet world.
right.
I don't like
It's
it.
not right.
No, but in the meantime, our dropper bottle oils are great for cats. So there is something, and they're great for skunks and for hamsters and for rabbits and birds, and whoever needs it.
It's so
can do it.
great. I'm a person who cannot sleep. I've never slept my whole life.
Me
really.
either.
I just don't sleep.
I don't sleep.
I need help in that
I
department.
say I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll be dead soon because I can't sleep. But no, but see, CBD in lower doses will balance you. In higher doses, it can help people sleep too.
Right.
So
you just I
deal.
need to look at it. It's a bit much, but saying that, I'm kind of productive. Because being British, everybody's trying to contact me from back home at the time
Different
that I
times,
should be
right.
asleep, but I am awake, so I do get some stuff done.
you look fabulous. Nobody would know you don't sleep.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
You're doing a great job.
And some good lighting,
And
lots
the
of makeup,
lipstick.
and the lipstick. Oh, always wear a bright lipstick. It will just distract from everything else that's going on.
Thank you. Tips
There's
and
my
everything.
tip for
Thank
the
you.
day. What's your website?
It's treatables.com.
And are you across all platforms?
We are. So you can
Yes.
find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and we are active, and we
Do you
love
do
hearing
Facebook
from you.
Lives?
We do sometimes.
I think you should do them all the time.
We'd love to do them
because
all the
I'm
time.
sure the questions would just roll in.
And we do. We answer questions too. If they're posted, our customer service department is fabulous. If you call, they will take 20 minutes to talk to you if that's what it takes. Takes a half hour,
So
that's fine.
you get to fully understand because they will take the
Exactly.
time with you. Oh, that's
Absolutely.
so
I mean,
brilliant.
like I said, we just want people to understand, and even if, God forbid, they go to another line, at least they know what they're talking about.
Yes.
And that matters to us because that's the bottom line, is being
Yeah.
able to make decisions for your pets.
It is hard. I mean, but what we do with this show is we wade through so much information to make it easier for people, so that they can, with confidence, pick up these products and know that they, how to administer them, how they'll work, and to fully understand that, and not be put off because they didn't give enough dosage and they didn't quite understand that, because the benefits are just brilliant.
It's wonderful, and we know this just from listening to our customers. We get 5 or 6 reviews every single day, and we post them on our website. We just had some technical difficulties, so some might not be up right now, but they'll be back.
What would you say is the most exciting feedback that you got, like the best success story that like, this sticks out for me, this is the one?
There's so many. A lot of times when we hear the pets that have been having lots of seizures,
Yeah.
especially multiple seizures a day, and now they've been on the product for a couple weeks, and there's been one or none, and they're excited about that. Or a dog that has been limping for 4 months, and they start using our product, and all of a sudden the dog's running through the backyard again.
Oh, it's just
nice.
brilliant,
And then
isn't it?
there's 2 cats that were they were feral kittens that were brought into the house. The person passed away, and the daughter got the cats, and these cats were terrified of everything. Started using the oil on them, and within a month they were adoptable.
Oh my goodness.
And they were adopted. So we hear those stories, and we sit in the office and cry.
I bet you do.
We do. We cry. This is wonderful.
Oh, I think it's just, I say the benefits are there. There's no risk of overdose. You just need to know what you're administering, how to administer it the best way you can for your pet, and then, watch how their life improves. I would think it would be a great addition to rehab and post-rehab for pets who are going through hip surgeries, knee surgeries, back surgeries, because isn't it also good for pain?
We see discomfort, but yes, it addresses
Right.
discomfort, and it does, because again, it's working with the whole body. And also, if there's a loss of appetite, if they're going through treatments for certain diseases or
Yes, like
disorders,
some of those cancer treatments, I mean,
Yeah.
they do lose their appetite,
they do,
don't
and
they?
this helps to increase the appetite in that way. It's not going to increase the appetite in a healthy pet or a pet that's, but if they need it, if they're nauseous,
It's going to be an aid.
Exactly.
You know what? I've often said this because I work with so many rescues, and everybody wants to sell a T-shirt. Great, but how many T-shirts are people really buying? So how does that bring a stream of income in for your rescue? It doesn't really. I'm like, why are you not selling CBD oil? That's something that people will purchase every month.
and to send home the pet with, so they acclimate better to their new surroundings.
Yes.
And that's one thing when I talk to rescues and talk to shelters, that's what I kind of emphasize. Like, this is going to help them adjust better in their new
Yeah.
surroundings. It keeps them calm and balanced.
Because that transition is difficult. There's a lot of shuffling around of
Yeah.
animals.
It's very scary. You're in a new place. Nothing smells like you.
And they don't, I mean, people like to say this because we always like to romanticize because we feel good about saving animals, but they don't know they've been saved. They know that they were maybe dumped at a shelter, and that's scary and frightening. Then they know that, oh, a rescue picked me up. Again, I don't know these people, I don't know the surroundings. Oh, then I'm given to a foster. So there's a lot of shuffling that goes on. They don't know what's going on. You know, and I think to aid them through that would be amazing. And I do think these rescues should sell it. It doesn't take up a lot of space.
No, it doesn't.
You know, it works.
And they'll make a little money.
And make a little money instead of that one T-shirt once in a blue moon. You know, I just think it would be such a great for them, because I've always said this, and I work with rescues. Honestly, if your business plan for your rescue is just to take donations, to really re-examine, you've got to look at it like a business, because the whole point of being able to help these animals and through medical and boarding and all this stuff and food is you've got to have some funds. And not just when you think it's going to come in.
And not your annual fundraiser.
Exactly.
Which is awesome. I mean, it's great when
Yeah.
people donate, but if you can make some of that up yourself, it's wonderful.
I think it's great. So this is who you guys need to contact. So you
Let
can
us
do
know.
your wholesale and know that it's a product that's going to help their pets.
Yeah, you can just hit sales@treatables.com or info@treatables.com will get you where you need to go.
Oh, it's so great. Tell me about your pets.
I have 3 cats.
Yeah. What are the names?
Obi, Emma, and Peekaboo.
Oh, cute.
And Obi's got anxiety issues.
Oh.
And he's been on medication. He's still on a little bit, but since we started using treatables, we've been able to cut that in half.
Oh, that's so
And
great.
then when I travel like this, my pet sitter knows that she can give them their treatables.
Yeah. I bet you're missing them though. How long are you away for on this particular trip?
This one's 4 days. This isn't so bad.
Still, you're like,
It's-
oh, you're leaving the house and crying.
I know, it's just, it's the look on their faces. I'm leaving. They're just like, where are you going now? You know, it's just,
One thing you have to know about people that do exhibit at, Super Zoo or come and attend is they often don't come bring their pets, but they will get cardboard printouts done, and you'll be at dinner and they take the dog out, they put it
Or
right
pull
there.
out the iPhone. Let me show you the 850 pictures of my cats. No, wait, you have to see. This is the best one.
Well, we just had Missy Carmichael from the Fluff Dog crew, and she's got these little replicas of her dogs that they had
That's
made. They were
fabulous.
this big, and she brought them in. She put them on the table, and it's true. A lot of people do that, and that's how much we love our pets.
We
want to
do.
make sure we feel like they're with us the whole entire time, and then of course you have to FaceTime with them when you're away.
Of course you do.
Because they'd be mad if you didn't. And always bring a gift bag for them. Always. I suggest treatables. That's
Yeah,
what I
really.
suggest.
If you're here at the conference, stop by our booth. We'll give you some samples.
What's your booth number again?
365.
365. So it's the low end. It's huge. So don't start at the big end.
We're in the natural section.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's been great that you you managed to get the time to come down
Thank you.
at 100 million degree temperatures.
It's awesome. I love
Down
it.
to Vegas and interview with us and clear up some of that information so that people will be confident. And because here's the thing, I would hate for people not to give it because they don't fully understand it, knowing they're missing out on the benefits for their pets. And so we'll just keep this information going out there as
Awesome.
well.
Thank you
Because
so much.
I it's one of the most exciting
you.
things that come on the market, honestly.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. So everyone, that's the end of our interview.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for that.